All right, so today I'm going to do a 12 by 12 inch Alla Prima oil painting in plein air. It's going to be a still life of these Converse sneakers. All right, so this is definitely complicated subject matter. I'm going to have to work quickly. I've got my game plan together. First, I am going to just indicate everything that's in shadow using my mixture of alizarin crimson and ultramarine. And then I will fill in the lights and also adjust the colors in the shadows. But the first step is just to divide this thing between light and shadow. Okay, correction. The first thing to do is actually sketch out the composition, which is a lot harder when sketching from life, especially something like shoes, which the geometry is really difficult. And also they're foreshortened the way that I have them set. So I did, as usual, I sketched with burnt sienna, thinning with, this time with liquid, because I'm painting outdoors, and a little bit of mineral spirits as well. But I'm just kind of focusing on shapes, trying to get the outline and just get the thing on there. And like I said, I was kind of struggling a bit. Spent about maybe a half hour on the drawing, maybe 20 minutes. I don't know, 20 minutes to a half hour. All right, and now I'm coming in, like I said, with my mixture of alizarin crimson and ultramarine blue. Just going to indicate where all of the shadows are. So anything that's in shadow gets painted with this color. And my hope was that, that just those shadows would create form. But, a lot of the little shadow shapes, especially around the laces, are really, really complicated. And I didn't want to spend too much time laboring on them, so I just kind of squinted at it and estimated and hoped for the best. I can already see here that the shoe to the left is too big. I don't know if you can see that. But part of the problem is I'm sitting in a chair and I'm not getting up and I'm not checking, and I don't have my rolling chair because I'm outside. So normally I'd be rolling back. But at some point I stand up and I take a look at it, and then I realize the shoe to the left is out of scale with the shoe to the right. But that's okay. I can make that correction afterwards. So you see I've come into those shadow areas on the shoes in particular and started lightening up some of that in the darks. And now I'm kind of playing with the shadows that are cast onto that white board that the shoes are sitting on. The board wasn't big enough, but it gave me enough that I had the cast shadows. It was good enough for this composition. And then I figured I'd just paint the rest of the background white. Yeah, see, I already even started putting in the stripes, the dark stripes on the shoes. And I still haven't noticed that the shoe to the left is so much bigger. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. That's part of what happens when you're working fast and furious. But I assure you, at some point, I do notice it and try to make some corrections. So yeah, I'm just putting in laces, hoping that that's going to start defining things a little bit, which I think it does, actually. I like the fact that there's that one lace hanging off to the left. I accentuated that because when I did the composition, the shoes were further over to the right than I'd hoped that they would be. And I thought, all right, well, if I have that lace going off to the left, that maybe will help balance out that big space that I left over there. So yeah, composing is difficult, like I said, in plein air or when you're just painting from life. It is challenging to get everything in the right place there. So I've started to fix that shoe. I think I compromised. I think the shoe to the left I make smaller, and I try to make the shoe to the right a little bit bigger. But yeah, it was definitely a problem. And then also too, now I'm starting to put in the thick white paint that surrounds it and carve out the shapes. I'm going to leave it right there. I mean, it is obviously very, very loose. But it was fun putting on that thick paint. I had a good time. Definitely harder than I thought. But I did enjoy it. And one thing I will say is I do like how loose and sort of thick the paint is. I would never have painted like that from a photograph. I just wouldn't have. The moving light really forced me to make decisions quickly and be more spontaneous. With subject matter like this, if I had a photograph, I would have spent probably 4 hours on it. and I would have been super careful, and that could have made a nice painting too, but what I wanted here was a sort of plein air feel with a still life. So overall, I'm happy with it. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. As usual, big thanks to my Patreon supporters. There's a link to Patreon down below. I've just put a few new videos on there if you want to check that out. Other than that, stay creative, and I'll see you guys in the next video.